Hello, hello, hello everyone, welcome out. This is going to be some Bronze 5 Shoutcasting. I typically do high elo, Challenger Diamond 1 level, but the queues have been down and it's late at night, so everyone seems to have given up. But my good friend Jeffrick1, who is playing this ADC Caitlyn, volunteered to let me cast his game. This is going to be down at the very bottom of solo queue with everyone fighting their way out of it. I know that Jeffrick is a little bit higher than that, but he just had some rough placements. I had the same. I went from gold 2 down to silver 5, and I've been making the climb myself. But we're gonna have some interesting choices here. We have a teleport exhaust Nidalee support bot. In mid lane, we have a teleport ignite AP Tristana, starting out with 50 ability power. That's going to be massive. And level 2 AP Tristana, we have to keep the camera on that side of the map, because Syndra could be in for a rough awakening. Udyr is jungling with Ghost, which is honestly not too atypical. We can tend to see flashes. The advantage of picking flash there is because Udyr already has speed buffs from his bear form and from his monkey's agility passive, and so the flash is just nice to have a little bit extra of a gap closer, so you don't have to rely on the speed. But with this Ghost, he'll be able to chase like mad, and now you'll see the damage ticking down there onto Syndra already with Tristana going in for the poke. AP Tristana has to get ahead early, or else she can fall a little bit behind, since the burst coming out from AP Tristana isn't necessarily as solid as the burst from a late game AP carry that has, you know, 3 or 4 damaging abilities as opposed to just the 2. You did just E the wrong minion, or the wrong target, since I'm sure he meant to put that explosive shot onto the shade here. But Epic Revolt just going to continue farming up and trying to harass back the Syndra. In the top lane, Kayle is usually considered a pretty strong counter pick to Darius, because Kayle's ultimate intervention does completely counter that Noxian Guillotine, and Kayle's range allows to kite Darius pretty hard. She can attack him from range, can slow him, can try and run away, but we'll see how strong that Apprehend is, pulling in Kayle, doing a lot of damage. Does turn around for a bit, and it looks to be pretty even. I'm hoping to see Epic Revolt go in soon, but he's just continuing to harass in the bottom lane. Jeffrick, who's a little bit out of his element on AD carry, is going to be doing all right, taking a spear to the face. Not exactly what he wants, but will be about even on farm with his opposing AD carry. Epic Revolt might be ganked up here. There's a Kha'Zix waiting in the wings, and we'll see if he can find the opportunity to go in. I don't think that he's quite close enough, and Epic Revolt looks pretty safe. Now, Tristana does have a really rough time farming under turret. Oh, wow, Epic Revolt goes in with the rocket jump, which was a bit of a mistake. Didn't take too much damage for that, but only got about 1 last hit. And Ronnie TLK is actually sticking around here. Kha'Zix might be looking for the dive. I don't think he'll be able to find it. He just walks up, throws away the Void Spikes, and then the Shade takes a turret shot to the face, because why not? Jeffrick continuing to farm up here, has his Doran's Blade as well as some potions, staying pretty safe. And if he can dodge skill shots, then he's really not going to be in too much danger here in the mid. Syndra has taken up quite a bit of damage, and in the top, it looks like Kha'Zix is continuing to roam around here without any effects, just kind of walking in the lanes. Now, Boy But Not comes here, he scans the bush, he knows there's no ward, and so Hattie will flash right into Boytaz, becoming first blood immediately. Boytaz falls low, he heals himself, and he's going to be able to no, the red buff does finish him off, but they do grab a 2-for-1 up in the top lane in favor of the Jets here. The team names being Benny and the Jets, because no one else gave me a better idea. Rukochi gets a little bit too far there without his AD carry, and does sacrifice himself to the great bronze gods above. Jeffrick will stay safe here, will keep farming up. He is a little bit behind here, but not going to be too bad. He has to make sure, that he doesn't take javelins like that to the face too often. And that he doesn't fall too far behind in farm, because Sivir could have a really solid mid to late game, being able to buff the movement speeds of her entire team, as well as come out with some pretty devastating auto attacks. And with a team that includes a Kha'Zix, a Nidalee, and a Darius, that mobility is really going to help them get around in a fight and try to outmaneuver the kind of tanky front line that is Leona or Udyr. Oh, the javelin almost connects there. Jeffrick barely manages to escape out of that one. Maiden Mai on Sivir is going to have a pretty solid lane down here in the 2 versus 2 because the majority of spells from Leona can be blocked pretty easily by the spell shield. You can see the Zenith Blade coming and react to it appropriately. In the top lane, Boytaz takes a lot of damage. The Ignite goes down. Hattie's just trying to play as far forward as he can, even if it doesn't result in any kills. Oh, the javelins coming through one after the other. Ronnie TLK just walking in here because why not? Stealth ganks are a little overrated, apparently. Jeffrick continues to try to farm, but he is falling quite behind, having some trouble last hitting under the turret. Leona isn't necessarily helping with that, throwing the Eclipse, because it does bring all the minions to a pretty awkward stage. Now, Rukochi walks right into the bush after Ronnie TLK walked out of it. Pretty bad mistake. Jeffrick stops to attack the minions. He has to back out here. The teleport's coming in, and that'll be Sinister Slay. Actually just running right back because he's now returned to lane and can go back to doing not a lot of anything. Ronnie TLK is just going to stick around here, making this a 3 versus 2 because jungling is overrated. Jeffrick continues to farm up, is still about a wave behind. Javelins continue to come through, and it looks like Boy Benot will be a little bit too smart for that one. Wasn't able to get anything out of the gank, but at least they didn't lose anyone, which is pretty much all that the Jets can be hoping for right now. Benny taking a pretty good advantage by default. Boytaz coming in here for the dive, throws the intervention, but it's not quite enough to save him from the relentless turret shots. They do trade 1 for 1 there in the top lane. Now Epic Revolt could be the next target. He rocket jumps right away to safety. The Void Spikes connect, but Ronnie TLK won't be able to follow up on that one. And so he might as well just tax the lane because, hey, I gave you a W. Let me take your minions. Oh, Bukochi is able to give away some farm to Jeffrick with that Relic Shield. I don't know how many... at this point, it's Target's Brace, isn't it? It is. I don't know how many of those last hits the Target's Brace actually affected. It's actually been 115 gold shared. And Tristano is finally able to find a kill. Let's see exactly how well he was able to do so there in the mid lane. Epic Revolt throwing a ward over there. Deshade on such low health has to be careful about this. Tristana is just going to see him go in for the rocket jump. There's the buster shot. There's the explosive shot. And that is one dead Syndra. Tristana does have pretty long cooldowns in a teamfight scenario, but if he gets the rocket jump again and again, then it could really devastate them. Udyr is over here on the side, but isn't going to choose to go in there. Maiden Mai has pretty much unlimited mana down here since he can step on the Caitlyn traps with his spell shield and continue to regenerate that. Rukochi not doing too much to avoid out of these javelins either. Jeffrick taking massive damage from the Boomerang Blade, flashes, and barriers. Playing safe here, but maybe a little bit too safe there. Now Maiden Mai throws the On the Hunt, but he's taking a lot of damage from the turret. Boy Benot's going to come right in from behind. Rukochi's going to look to seal it, but he won't quite find it. Boy Benot having trouble keeping up onto the Sivir here. He does pop the barrier, but the exhaust is enough to catch him. Cinder Slay throwing across the javelin, not going to break through the Eclipse there. And actually, the Jets now doing fairly well. They are ahead by 1,000, and it seemed like they were behind for such a long time, but that's 2 kills for Epic Revolt, 2 kills for Boy Benot, and still a bottom lane that's behind, but there is a BF sword on Caitlyn now, so it could potentially be the turnaround they need in the top lane. Hattie goes in hard onto Boytaz, but there's that intervention completely stopping the damage from the Noxian Guillotine. Now Epic Revolt goes in on the shade, but he turns around with a huge ult. The rocket jump is enough to get him away from that one, and even though Sinister Slay wanted to get in there for a little bit of damage, he won't be able to. Boy Benot comes around from the side. He doesn't have a red buff. Deshade is actually going to be able to outrun the Ghost here. Boy Benot not going to continue up there. Decides to go back into the Sinister Slay, who jukes him around through the bushes. Boy Benot makes a little bit of a fool of himself in the mid lane. Won't take the javelin to the face. That would just be salt in the wound. And now Rukochi actually losing the 2 versus 1 fight against Sivir. Jeffrick just continuing to farm up, is about 10 behind. Not in a great spot, but with that BF sword should be able to play pretty well. Sinister Slay comes in from the side. Let's see if he can land yet another javelin. Rukochi tries to take it to the face, but can't quite get in there in time. Ronnie TLK just roaming around the jungle looking for his next prey. His prey being minions in the lane that he can walk in and attack, since he hasn't really been able to gank too effectively. He does have 2 kills to his name, which seems kind of surprising. Rukochi taking massive Boomerang Blade damage. Mated Mai is able to get in there despite the slow from the Solar Flare, and that is Jeffrick continuing to farm up, almost dying there from the Javelin. Oh, he gets the last hit and can now recall safely, or he might stick away. Epic Revolt once again taking a kill as Ronnie TLK farms up that mid lane. He hits him with the Void Spikes over and over. Now Boy Benot wants to get in there, but there is a ward. Ronnie TLK is actually going to walk up close, let him know he knows he's there. Maiden Mai continues to farm up here in the bottom lane, now has a solid CS advantage over, and Ronnie TLK playing with fire as the explosive shot ranged down. He jumps onto nothing, because it's not about dealing damage, it's about sending a message. Jeffrick stays in this bottom lane. He does not want to give up any of this experience or CS. And it could be a scary situation for him, since a single Boomerang Blade could finish him off. However, it seems like he might be pretty safe. A good pick for him so far. Ronnie TLK might have something to say about that, as he does roam bottom here. He doesn't have a lot of mana, since he's been spending on things like jumping onto nothing and void spiking his full health opponents. Oh, but here he comes from the top. Jeffrick is going to be safe, since Ronnie TLK, of course, is not going to do much besides throw Void Spikes. And so Sinister Slay and this Kha'Zix will be left here to defend. The Void Spike's not connecting. Ronnie TLK burning through his mana pool. Epic Revolt just continuing to farm up the mid. Struggles to farm under the turret, as Tristanas tend to do, but he has 3 kills under his belt. Takes a Blasting Wand, as well as his Sorcerer's Shoes. In the bottom lane, Maiden Mai tries to go in on the Jeffrick, who does pop his barrier. Sinister Slay wants to get around here for the Javelin, but he won't be able to find this nice Solar Flare. Locks up Maiden Mai in time for Boy Benot to finish him off. The Shade roams all the way from the mid. Looks for the stun, does not find it. And they really have to be able to either take this turret or take a dragon. Oh, Ace in the hole comes across, does a good amount of damage to Deshade, might keep them from engaging into a fight. Epic Revolt moves in from behind, and Ronnie TLK has to be careful. Deshade doesn't get caught up by the Zenith Blade, and that's actually Boy Benot falling. Ronnie TLK is low, but Deshade turns around with an awesome stun. The Ignite is there on the Epic Revolt. Sinister Slay finishes him off. Deshade is so low, but Rukochi's the only one left alive down here. Let's see if Leona can finish him off. The Zenith Blade misses yet again, and his aim is not quite on. A double kill for Sinister Slay. A 3-4-1 lane, despite the low health bars, due to some missed skill shots and some misplay. Meanwhile, Hattie has been left to push this mid lane just a bit, as he determines he can't fight against Boytaz anymore. Is going to get a good amount of damage onto this outer turret before Boytaz can roam down. Instead of farming up the top and pushing, he will come down here. There's a teleport actually from Epic Revolt. He's going to continue unsuccessfully farming under that turret. Boytaz has roamed all the way down here, but he won't be able to find Hattie. Instead, he'll just look to take some of his allies' farm. Because if he ran all the way down here, he deserves it, doesn't he? 200 gold separates the two teams right now. It's actually incredibly close, despite the gross amount of fighting that's happened so far. 2 turrets have fallen in the top and the bottom lanes, respectively. Now Sinister Slay teleporting in the mid is going to go back to Bandis. Oh, wow. Actually, Sinister Slay taking massive damage from Epic Revolt, but the heal's going to be a little bit too much for that. I don't believe Epic Revolt actually used the explosive shot. I didn't see the grievous wounds there, and that could have been enough to finish him off. Deshade wants to find Epic Revolt, but won't be able to. He hasn't put on his glasses yet today. Sinister Slay throwing at the javelins, not going to connect with anything. Epic Revolt stopped juking that effectively. Ronnie TLK jumps onto Boy Benot, hits him with the Void Spikes. He landed down, but can't follow up there as Boy Benot pops the Ghost to escape from a situation he probably could have just walked right out of. Once again, the Zenith Blade missing there. Maiden Mai takes a lot of damage. The Solar Flare connects. Ace in the hole comes across, and that is Maiden Mai falling down to the hands of Jeffrick. Loyal mod. Sinister Slay now left to defend up against here. Did not go for the dive onto Kurochi. Ooh, the trap connects, but it's not going to be enough to signal Nidalee going in. Boy Benot throws the Barraform. Epic Revolt tries to go on into the shade. They have a Kale coming in, and that does force the flash out of Syndra. He might have been a little trigger happy on that D key, but hey, D for damn, I gotta get out of here. Yeah, so, someone said, I don't think Disciple's impressed with Kha'Zix. I don't think I am either. Boytaz almost falls there, throws out the clutch heal. And Deshade walks in maybe a little bit too far. Will fall there to the hands of Epic Revolt. Boy Banat now dueling here against 2 enemies as the rest of his team backs out. Low health bars signal low chances of winning, and very smartly they do not engage in yet another fight. They lost the last one that happened in much the same circumstances. Javelin connects, doesn't do too much damage. It is a support in Italy. But he almost has a Rabadon's death cap, so I think soon enough those Javelins might be doing the damage he's intending. Ooh, Javelin almost connects around to Boy Banat. He's trying his best to defend, but Udyr is not known for defending turrets up pretty well. Boy Banat falls low here. Ronnie TLK moves in. He's taking some turret shots. He throws the void spikes across. Boy Banat stays alive. He has the bear stance ace, and the hole comes across. Ronnie TLK will fall there to the reckoning from Boytaz. Now Jeffrick does look to escape out of there with his net. He will stay alive here. Maiden Mai taking a lot of damage. The reckoning comes across. The red buff is there onto him, and Boytaz finds the killing spree. Takes a bit of damage there from Deshade, but not quite enough. And Deshade will have to look to back out of here. Benny has taken a turret, but they're behind in gold because of these extra deaths they've been giving up to the Jets. And I need to turn off TweetDeck because that was hella loud. There we go. Now all the teams have grouped in the mid lane and are going to look to exchange farm back and forth to take out minions, and Epic Revolt gets grabbed in by the upper hand, will fall quickly. Hattie falls immediately after, and Boytaz is on fire. Boy Banat as well. There in the front line, Sinister Slay. Will he fall to the flash from Jeffrick? He's still alive. The Reckoning going to claim the double kill for Boytaz, and with the entirety of the Jets here, they will take this mid turret by default. Ronnie TLK will finally realize that something's happening in the mid lane, start to walk up there from the bottom, and make it there a bit too late to do anything useful. Boytaz, though, stays on low health. Let's see if Maiden Mike wants to go in there. Ronnie TLK throws the void spikes. He gets the slow. Boytaz might actually fall here. The intervention comes across. He will be invincible for a few seconds, but it's not quite enough. Rukoshi comes across from the side, but they're on such low health. Maiden Mai falls low. Boy Banat, though, can't stay in this fight for too much longer. Jeffrick is on full health, but he's not able to find it. There goes Ronnie TLK, actually jumps in for the kill, but Epic Revolt turns around, grabs the kill out of that one with a couple awkward jumps back and forth. It does end up in a 2-for-1 there in favor of Benny. The Jets, however, are 1,500 gold in the advantage. I'm not sure they're going to be able to use that advantage too much unless they just happen to end up in another ARAM. Oh, Epic Revolt making sure he can juke directly into that. He jumps on the Sinister Slay, bursts him down very quickly. Deshade tries to go in for the kill. He grabs with the auto attack easily enough. And we'll trade 1-for-1. I'm sure that Tristana wants to call Worth, but he did give up the double buffs to Deshade there and the assist. So that might not quite be the play that he was looking for. Epic Revolt is getting rather strong. He has a Rabadon's Death Cap, another blasting wand here. Not sure what it could be going for. I typically see something like a Deathfire Grasp, which doesn't build out of a blasting wand, but we'll see exactly how Epic Revolt chooses to build that. Oh, Maiden Mai does block up the Reckoning with that spell shield. The teleport comes in from Sinister Slay here. A nice stun from Deshade lands, and Boytaz and Rukochi could be in a rough spot. We'll see it better if I can learn how to control the camera. If Boy Banat comes in from behind, he will be a bit of a bodyguard there. And Rukochi falls pretty low after not a lot of much anything. Darius is going for a very tanky build, which is something I actually really like to see. Since he has had a pretty rough game, he can't afford to go Glass Cannon, so instead he goes for that Sunfire Cape and then for the Negatron Cloak. For a solid front line, he can run up, he can apprehend someone in, and then he can stay in applying the bleed stacks and trying to get a nice Buster Shot there from Epic Revolt. Darius won't be the one getting the Buster Shot, that will be Epic Revolt. Darius is the one grabbing that Noxian Guillotine. Ooh. The Jets are just sticking around here. They are staying in pretty solid range for Sinister Slay to keep throwing out those javelins, but not stunned across here. And that was, oh, that was Eclipse from Leon. I thought that might have been the Solar Flare. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what happens next. The Jets are all grouped up here in the mid because, why not? Ronnie TLK moves in completely alone, and I would like to see the Jets go into it, but they don't choose to do so. Epic Revolt, in a rare moment of self-control, does not jump headfirst in the enemy team. A good stun from the Shade will not be followed up by anything because there aren't any teammates nearby. Meanwhile, Jeffrick farms up this bottom lane with the help of Rukochi, and finally, with Rukochi's Targon's Brace, it actually generated about 500 gold for Jeffrick, so he will be quite ahead of Mated Mai. He's going to stand here, though, auto-attacking. Maybe he's lagging up a bit, but Sinister Slay gets in there. Jeffrick auto-attacks his very, very best, but he will fall there to the hands of Mated Mai, giving up a kill. I'd have to think that was a connection issue. Now, Deshade walks up here, but Boy Benot wants to get in there. Jeffrick has disconnected. Please report AFK. Ah, Boy Benot almost falls to the ultimate from Deshade. The flash in going to be enough. Epic Revolt tries to jump in for the Buster Shot. He stops to auto-attack some minions, and Deshade might be able to run his way out of this one. Let's see. He lands a stun on the Epic Revolt, and he should be smooth sailing. Mated Mai now catches on the Epic Revolt. He has his auto-attacks. The Boomerang Blade connects onto the white. And Epic Revolt does jump out of there. Sinister Slay looks for the Javelin. It almost connects onto Epic Revolt, but he will be able to escape barely off the side. Voitas continues to farm up here. He's now at about 116 minions and is going for a particularly auto-attack centered build with a Ginsu's Raid Blade on top of his Nashor's Tooth. So he'll be doing actually massive on-hit damage with that build. Now with a dagger, he's going to build up even more attack speed. I'm curious to see what precisely he goes for with that dagger, but the Ginsu's Raid Blade does stack up attack damage and it stacks up attack ability power and attack speed is what happens. It grants you attack damage and ability power. But Hattie doesn't care about aspects of the Ginsu's Rage Blade as he turns around onto Boy Benot, who might have gotten himself a little bit out of his element. Jeffrick is finally back in the game, but it might be a little late as Rukochi does fall. Ronnie TLK grabbing up a 5th kill for himself, and this Kha'Zix, who doesn't feel like he did much of anything, has taken up about a third of the kills on his team. With 4 members here of Benny, they will be pushing in on towards this inner turret. The Buster Shot comes through. Mated Mai takes so much damage here from the turret. Is he going to fall there? No, the damage from the explosive shot not quite enough. The rest of Benny wants to take down that turret, but they back off of it. Jeffrick has returned. Voitas now comes in for the Reckoning, but the stun and the Apprehend knocks him back and forth all around, up and down, and he will fall. 5 members participating in that kill. Ronnie TLK clearing up this mid wave, wants to open up this turret for Benny to take down, but the Jets aren't going to be so quick about giving it up. Rukochi successfully avoiding a Javelin, but can't quite stay out of that stun range. And it looks like the Jets will successfully defend up this turret for now. Ooh, that is an interesting point. So Udyr has picked up a Thornmail. And this is a very attack damage centered. Well, they have a good mix of attack damage and ability power, which is why I'm a little skeptical of the Thornmail here. It will keep a lot of Mated Mai's damage off, but it's not going to help him at all from the Javelin draining through. Now, he did pick up a Negatron Cloak, and he has some health as well. Epic Revolt comes in for the Explosive Shot, the Buster Shot. Deshade cannot stick around on that low of health, as Epic Revolt grabs up his 8th kill of the game. He's now going for a Void Staff, which will really help to round out his build. I would like to see Deathfire Grasp for some enormous burst. Rukochi falls so low, tries to run into the Javelin once again, but can't quite maneuver in there in time. I'm sure he doesn't want to get hit by the Javelin, but just, I'm talking from experience. Again and again and again. Leona is going for a tanky build, so at least if he mistakenly runs into the enemy team, maybe he can do something slightly useful. Jeffrick, after taking out that turret, might put himself in a rough spot. He throws the barrier, but doesn't block any damage. The flash might be enough to get him away. Ronnie TLK wants to move in here onto the squishy Caitlyn, but the rest of the Jets come in from behind. There's a stun from Boy, but not Ronnie TLK. Flashes forward. He has the taste their fear. Hattie grabs a kill onto Epic Revolt. Jeffrick falls solo from the red buff here. Ronnie TLK throws the ult. There's the Void Spikes for the kill. Boy, but not does manage to claim his life. And there are 3 members of Benny here who have managed to systematically dismantle the entire team of the Jets. The intervention for Gale wasn't even used there. Now Hattie flashes in for the decimate. The apprehend comes through, crippling strike for the slow, and Maiden Mai will grab the killing spree there. Now Rukochi runs into the 1 versus 3. 1 versus 4 now as the Shade comes in from behind. Rukochi has the ignite on top of him. The ult comes from to Shade, and that is an ace. Just barely, as Epic Revolt and Jeffrick do respawn to run in here, potentially to their deaths. Let's see if they can defend this up, or if they will fall to a similar fate of their teammates. Epic Revolt wants to look for the assassination there. Oh, ace in the hole comes through, and the Buster Shot is enough to finish him off. Epic Revolt falls low to the ignite, but he won't die here. Now with Kale coming from behind, Jeffrick wants to go in for the Piltover Peacemaker, but can't quite connect. Boytaz looking to chase this up, might be a little bit too far here. The stun lands from the Scatter the Meek. Sinister Slay moves in from behind, wants to see if he can't finish off this Caitlyn, and he'll be able to skip right off the side. Meanwhile, Ronnie TLK has finished off the dragon. Boytaz running in here to the 1 versus 3. Ronnie TLK jumps right over his head. And I'm not sure if we're going to see the full play here. I guess we are after the apprehend. The javelin connects on the Boytaz, and that is the 2nd kill that Boytaz has completely denied using his intervention. However, Jeffrick was a little bit too strong coming in from behind with his Static Shiv and his Bloodthirster. They did manage to finish off 2 of the kills in the 2 versus 3. And so despite Boytaz's best efforts to completely sabotage the fight, they have come out ahead. They are about 4,000 behind. The Jets really on the back foot here, pushed all the way up to their base in the bottom lane. But seeing this strategizing happening back and forth, I don't know that anyone will close it out, and it feels like if anyone wins, it'll just kind of have my default, like, I could go take Wraiths, but the Nexus is open, and I guess it's close enough, so I might as well finish it off. Who knows? Who knows exactly what's going to happen? Boy, but not an Epic Revolt lying in wait, setting the trap for an unsuspecting Benny to walk right in there. Benny in the chat. Epic Revolt's gonna spot out Hattie here. That is the tankiest member of the entire Benny team. Ronnie TLK jumps over the wall here, and it looks like Hattie might be able to hold his own as Ronnie TLK moves in. Epic Revolt falls to the Noxie and Gate. Now Boy But Not might be the next casualty. A double kill for Hattie. 0-2-0-6. An unaffected trap there set by the Jets. You know what? I love you, Imagine Dragons, but I am feeling something potentially much more beautiful. That was loud as all hell. Haha. There we go. Maiden Mai walks up for a couple of auto attacks. They do manage to take out the turret. They're 4th of the game. They are now at about 6,000 advantage. And they now look to go in here onto... Oh, Epic Revolt comes out with a huge Buster Shot. The Shade might fall here to the residual damage. He does, but he does fall in return. Hattie jumps into 4 enemy members, does get taken out. Boy But Not now might be the next casualty. No, he stays alive. Oh, does manage to fall to the bouncing boomerang? Something from Maiden Mai. I'm not sure exactly what finished him off. And so that was a 3 for 2. Yeah. Benny and the Jets. Oh, the flash comes out from Maiden Mai, tries to finish off Boytaz, but the intervention is enough to barely save him off the end of that. Maiden Mai going for an aggressive play, won't have that flash, which could end up costing him. Huh. I'm interested to see how well he can survive in subsequent fights. I'm trying to identify what's happening here, but I feel like it's a lot of, I don't know what to do. What do you want to do? And then his friend's like, I don't know. What do you want to do? And they're like, well, I guess we can farm. And they're like, okay, let's farm. They're not necessarily farming effectively. Tristana just breaching 100. Syndra not even at that point yet. 86 CS in 31 minutes. Proving that you don't need minions to win a game. You just need really, really subcompetent opponents. I'm not trying to insult Jeffrick here. He's actually doing a lot better than the rest of his team. 178 farm going to be drastically superior there. Boytaz not using the intervention once again will fall there in the fight. Rukochi going in on immediately after. 4 members of Benny popping that on the hunt, go in and are able to grab the kill onto Epic Revolt before he even jumps over the wall. Maiden Mai does block up that ace in the hole with his spell shield. Jeffrick trying his best to defend here. Rukochi rage quits as Ronnie TLK moves here on the boy Benot. Has a taste there, fear, and Maiden Mai is able to grab the kill. This might be the game for Benny as they do fight the 4 versus 2s, the 4 versus 1s. Javelin not connecting onto Jeffrick. Jeffrick might be their last hope. Come on, man, you're a mod for my chat for a reason. Let's see you defend this up. This is your time to shine, Jeffrick. This is your time to shine. Maiden Mai blocks up the Piltover Peacemaker with his spell shield. Jeffrick almost falls to the javelin toss. Rukochi does rejoin the team, but it might be a little bit too late for them. Jeffrick takes up the javelins, and I'm not sure he'll be able to defend this 1 versus 4. His team is there, but it might not be enough. Epic Revolt does grab a kill on the Ronnie TLK. Sinister Slay falls immediately after, but Maiden Mai, raining down hell on the Nexus, will be able to finish out this game in 32 minutes and 50 seconds. Oh, the double explosion, though. What does it mean? Well, good game to Benny here. Congratulations to the Jets as well. I apologize to Jeffrick for your untimely demise. You did remarkably better than the rest of your team, and that's what you can keep with you. And so, from all of us here at Disciple Studios, I wish you a wonderful night.